Hello everyone, it is Joe here from OmniPoke, the channel that brings you guys everything Pokemon. If you're looking for PTCG live codes, make sure you check out the Potown store. You can get a 5% discount on your orders using that code OmniPoke. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Dragapult Charizard combination. This deck was able to win a 5,000 player Champions League tournament out in Japan in Aichi, and it was actually in the Destined Rivals format out in Japan. So they have the new Shaymin that's coming out to protect the bench Pokemon, as well as 2 copies of the Team Rocket's Watchtower, a fantastic Disruption Stadium card, which is trying to shut down those colourless Pokemon, notably Noctowl engines, which are really popular right now, showing up in Raging Bolt, Flareon, and Terrabox as well. Of course, it's worth noting that we can't play the promo Psyduck, it won't be released in time for the NAIC, but other than that, we can copy-paste the exact deck list here and test with it ourselves. The logic is quite simple. The draw engine of the Drakloak are fantastic always. Dragapult, as we know, is a phenomenal attacking threat, but the Infernal Rain is great here to give us a bolstering of energy acceleration, which gives us time to weave in the Munkidori attachment, very similar to how a slow Dragapult tries to operate by simply sitting behind Buddy and building attachments. Here, we can burst lots of energy into play all in one go. Setting up one Dragapult as well as putting a Drakloak with an energy on it means generally, as long as a Dragapult is tanking for one turn, we can attach to Munkidori and weave in those Adrenabrains more comfortably, but at the same time, the Charizard can power itself up and become another threat that just sits on the board and becomes far more dangerous as the late game progresses. There are some matchups that really don't appreciate this Charizard at all. Very good into the Zoroark matchup where they will try and take early prizes with Darmanitan. Now suddenly the Charizard is in range of taking big KOs and they can't rely on their Reshiram to sort of claw them back into the game. That would otherwise be an issue for the straight Dragapult, I would say. You can also note there's the single prize Chi-Yu, which is actually a pretty decent card in the deck. Very good against the Gongo, also very good against Raging Bolt once again because of their Teal Mask Ogopon EX that they play. You can look to gust those up and get that Mega Fire of Envy off. So I do think the logic is definitely here. If you want to play Dragapult at the NAIC, but you're scared of Gardevoir, rightfully so, it's winning all of these tournaments in the current format, weave in the Charizard and make it a little bit more balanced for you. In fact, I've just recently headed over to Portland for a regional championships and played Dragapult Charizard myself before we even had access to the Watchtower, which I do think is a big card. I had a pretty mediocre result. I went 5-3 on the day, losing to 1 Terrabox in a pretty close best-of-3 set, and losing to 1 straight Dragapult, which was Cal Connor, one of the best players in North America, and I also lost to another straight Pult, which was actually me in a gents agreement to not tie in the final round. So I was 5-2, could have tied naturally or ID'd, but ended up losing the final round. Regardless, I was like able to day 2 but didn't essentially, and I do think the deck was very close, and the changes I made really were because I couldn't play Shaymin and the 2 Watchtower, so I flip-flopped the 2 stadiums for 2 different stadiums, Artisan just for consistency and League Headquarters to help out a little bit against the basic decks. In doing so, I also cut one of the Nest Balls, and I added in a 4th copy of Luminous because it's just so important to hit that for Phantom Dive and Adrenabrain. I also added a 4th Drakloak because the engine is just absolutely insane. And I also got rid of the Prime Catcher, changed it for a second Counter Catcher, and added in 1 Unfair Stamp. I think this list is pretty good right now, and this is the list you're going to see in the video, because it's been something I've been testing on fairly high ladder for a decent amount of time, obviously practicing for the regional itself, but also just getting reps in with the deck now makes a lot of sense, because Destined Rivals is just around the corner actually as of recording, which means you can get the reps in with this archetype, knowing that the Watchtower could make it into the deck. And actually, it doesn't have to play the Watchtower, but I do think it's logical. I think League Headquarters is a really good inclusion. I also think Jamming Tower does have its merits, but Watchtower might cover the most amount of matchups. Let's have a look at the matchup spread from Portland itself then. There were 46 players playing Dragapult Charizard into this tournament, and as you can see, its win rate into Gardevoir, pretty appealing for one of the top decks in the room. The Raging Bolt matchup is slightly negative right now. I don't know how many Charizard Pults were playing the Chi-Yu. A number of them were playing a build with Rabsca and less like basic attackers and stuff. So it's not a one-to-one thing always, but you can see that the Watchtower could be really helpful into the Raging Bolt matchup, which is one of the prominent ones. It's slightly unfavored into the straight Pults. I think a lot of that is to do with Genesect denying Unfair Stamp yourself, or some DragaZards that were playing Prime and not playing Unfair Stamp to an extent. You'll also notice that the Joltik Box, not the most favourable, that's part of the reason why I played League Headquarters myself, but also the Terrabox is slightly unfavoured, and I think a Watchtower, in theory, could balance the Raging Bolt and the Terrabox so that you can just have Stamp Stadium or Iono Stadium as late game plays. Then your other matchups are pretty reasonable. Solid into Dusknoir. Fine, you went pretty balanced into the Dragapult, that's whatever. Very good into Enzoroark, which is still going to be an archetype going forward because you still expect Dragapult, you still expect Gardevoir, and also Enzoroark is decent into Mining's Grimmsnarl as well, because we just know that Darmanitan is very good in that matchup as well. They have the Frostlass at 90 hit points, and you can start sniping Impidimps and whatnot. You can even KO the Munkidoris cleanly with the Zoroark itself, thanks to weakness. So I think Enzoroark is still well placed going into the next couple sets. And yeah, very good into regular Golden Go. And yeah, then there's some like less important matchups to face. But essentially, what you need to bear in mind is you're good into Gardevoir, solid enough into Dragapult, I think. I personally feel like it's fairly balanced. I know I went 1-2 into Straight Pot on the day, but that really was like Calcona who just outplayed me, and then a tie, essentially. So you're pretty balanced, I would say, generally into straight Dragapult. Again, Genesect, if they can establish Genesect tool whilst doing all this other stuff and setting up in front of you, that's where it gets a little bit iffy. But really, this matchup comes down to like who gets more cloaks out, who finds Monkey first, and oftentimes by virtue of Charizard thinning all your energy out for you, and because you play double TM Evo and just sort of laugh in the face of Budju, you normally get the superior board built earlier, and it's just about how you react from the stamp a lot of the time. You're both going to put yourselves in that sort of blender of stamp Iono and whatnot. So that really is like a fairly balanced matchup, and we are a little bit greedier than them, sure, but they don't play like that many more impactful supporters. Their like excess supporters are typically like Brox and Jux, and we just play the Arven to just build anyway, so it's not a big deal. Essentially, without getting too bogged down in the stats here, I think the Watchtower makes it much more of a well-rounded pick, and I already think we're cherry-picking two of the strongest cards that we've seen in the game, and we're exploiting Munkidori better than most builds as well, I would say. So let me know your thoughts on the archetype, and enjoy the games of this deck list from someone who's played it for a few weeks now and know the ins and outs of it pretty well. Okay, so opponent gets to go first. They start Blood Moon, which can't be good. Oh, it's a Dragapult. That's really bad that they started Blood Moon. We have to find a switch. I don't play Badu though, so I can't force them into a corner like that. Already getting rid of Boss and Iono means they have stuff for next turn. But it's also good to know they don't have those resources. Energy is probably our best draw here. Not quite. But we can definitely get some men out pretty quickly. Rescue Board is a decent Arven option still. Just to get Cleffa going here. It is a weird situation that my only bounce to the tower is HQ, so I can't Cleffa. But maybe I still want it on the board. But probably not, honestly. I think I just do this and don't play the Iono. So what are they valuing over Iono? They're valuing another Iono, or a research, or a maybe a Jacques. I doubt they value Jacques that highly though. I think I just Arven out a Ball and an Evo, and just Ball out one evolution to hand. I think I can toss HQ. I don't mind tossing Arven. And we just take one cloak to the hand and hold. The Evo is kind of weird to keep, but I might want it for future Arven fodder. So we'll do this. Yeah, okay, research. They topped it to research as well, so they're down quite a few supporters, which is pretty good for me. They're starting to get cloaks up, which is good for them. They're probably going to want to Poffin out a Budju if they can, but moving the Blood Moon may still be tricky for them. They may not even go Budju. Oh, they still do go Budju. Do they find the switch here? Do they play Lati, maybe? Yeah, they do play Lati. That's pretty good for me, though. These are vulnerable multi-prizers on the board. And honestly, the Itchy Pollen's like not terrible for me. The jamming is the bigger headache. I will commit the TM Evo now, just in case we high roll it off the Iono plus Recon. The Artisan, I mean. We actually naturally draw into double Charmeleon, which is pretty pog. It does give me the option to combustion, but we don't want to walk into a stamp like that. Realistically. Luminous is very good. They don't have space for Monkey, which is excellent for me. We definitely evolve this one on the bench because it's naturally protecting itself. I think I like just swinging the energy onto Monkey now. An argument to put it onto Cloak, but it can be punished by Luminous Evolve Gust. That could be the same. Same could be said for Monkey. I definitely want to commit energy this turn. It has to be the Luminous. So I think it has to be the Monkey in this spot just to protect the draw as much as possible. I don't mind throwing the one back now, even if it is just onto Budju here. Actually, I'm just going to put it onto a Dreepy for now. And we'll just pass like this. So I didn't have the ideal outcome because of jamming. Would have been great to get triple Cloak going, but overall pretty decent turn to get 3 stage 1s. Not bad. Under Budju lock. They have got a fresh hand to work with. Let's see if there's any Cloak among them. Well, yep, straight away. Weirdly, they evolved that one. I think their priority would have been to get out of Phantom Dive range. Because even though I have no energy on my Cloaks, I'm actually representing KO with a Zard Evolve plus Luminous Evolve. Maybe they feel safe on the 2 stage 2s. Like they think it's too much work. The Latias EX, interestingly, is weak to Dark, of course, so that could give me a Boss Zard 2-prize line as well. There's energy onto Cloak. And evolving, so they're giving me credit for potential boss plays. Does it mean they're going in? Oh, they are. They're coming in. Does that mean Gust or no? No. Okay. Just taking out Charmeleon. Setting up damage. They probably have to spread the damage as much as possible between my 4 basics here. Yeah, they do exactly that. They do give me full Monkey value, though, which is really weird. They should not give me full Monkey value. They should be trying to put more 2s across the board. Interesting. Okay. Fez is a pretty good draw. Probably the best one possible, honestly. We'll Fez, then we'll just Iono for 6. Give ourselves 11 cards to see our 2 stage 2s plus Luminous. Okay, that's really good start. We are reconning after the Fez. Okay, so that's everything we want. And it means I'm punching Dragapult and taking out Cloak this turn with Monkey. After we finish our recons. This is absolutely busted. Okay, there's Luminous. That was the only piece that was missing. Board to hand is fine, because I want Fire Energy in the deck, of course, for the Charizard. Rod to hand. Not really. I think I just keep taking Luminous. I think I can Ultra away Charmander here. Knowing that Zard's going to be on board anyway. And we still have a nice 4 fire in the deck. So let's Zard up. Obviously 1 active. 2 on Zard is good. Because he's big. I think I will play the Artisan if I'm board locking anyway with Monkey. It makes sense. This lets him get Monkey a little bit easier, perhaps. Maybe I shouldn't do it just based on that. So here comes 3. Here comes Evolve. The only thing is, like, I want Artisan to still be... Like, I'm the aggressor here, right? I'm taking... Well, I guess I'm only going to 5, so it's not that scary. But a Stamp is open, and they can, like, Stamp, Panic Gust any of my 1 Retreaters, take out 1 Cloak, and... I guess I still have draw if they take out 1 thing. Yeah, I think I should just swing into this and hold both. Like, I'm only playing the Artisan to unlock a potential search for board later. If they, like, Stamp me, Gust me... like, poke the Fez and set up damage elsewhere, maybe. But my issue is, I don't want to give them free monkey, right? I want them to have to find it themselves. We're representing a lot of pressure from this position. We're pressurizing both Cloak and Dragapult here. So we're in a crazy, crazy spot right now. They can't comfortably attach to this Cloak. It'll just get dealt with. So I'm feeling pretty good about this. The only thing is our hand is probably going to get stamped away. That's the only expectation I have right now. Here comes Nest Ball. Can they get Monkey out and at least take out some draw, my side? Because their attachment doesn't make any sense here. So it's like either they attach to Blood Moon or to a monkey this turn. They just go Fez. Okay. So they're really lacking pieces right now. Let's see where else they want to do shenanigans. Countercatcher not live for them because we just took the 1. Okay, they're going to Turo. Turo up Cloak. That's so weird because I can already go evens with the Badoo. Yeah, that's got to be a terrible play. That just can't be right. Unless they can Bravery Charm. No, they can't even Bravery Charm because of Tower. Yeah, they can't Lux Cape or Charm, so they're just mugged off here. Can they at least attach and Monkey? Like, surely Cloak's a better keep than Badoo. Their board is just shot now. Well, at least they have Monkey. They're going to take out a Cloak. One would assume they're taking out Cloak here. It's really not that bad, though, because I keep Fez draw. Let's start with Fez. So I can stamp them, which is pretty good. I can KO Buddy for free. Putting 6 on Blood Moon doesn't make too much sense because he'll just heal it back. Evolving up Cloak is fairly interesting because the Dragapult... Like, I don't need to because I'm knocking out the only Pult. Attaching to Drakloak is fine, though. Attach Drakloak. They've already got Monkey, so I don't mind Artisan here. Do I want to Rod back any Dreeps? Should be fine to just play this. I also need to scout my Stamp. Yeah, so it's a good Stamp chance. They're at 150, so I'm not counter-catching. I'm not playing the Rescue Board either. I'm just going Arven Stamp. The evolution to Cloak is the only thing I'm thinking about, but they don't have access to Dragapult, right? And they have to take out my Pult. So we just fire off the stamp here. Getting another Cloak into deck isn't too bad. I have like so much energy that I don't need to put anything else back. We'll just put Draw Power back in. An argument to keep the Budgie around just for Munkidori, but I'm going to lose, like, I lose the chance to get full value Adrenabrain, so I think I just take the chance now, honestly. I am holding Boss for game, which is kind of nice. We'll do this. We're definitely just going 2, 4, 6, I think. Well, let's think. If we go 1, 1, and 3, it gives him full monkey math, but he can't combine it with Pult anyway. And it does give me the option if he randomly punches something else to finish off the Blood Moon. So I think it's like this. Because it's one of those weird spots where the 1s are better than the higher damage. We're at 2, so Blood Moon is definitely their best attacker here. But if they take 2, I'm at enough with Zard. I'm at 300. So they have to get pretty creative with their math here, if they're going to do anything. I think they're just miles behind. So many multi-prizes in play. They are able to at least Iono us out of boss. Into Cloak. We should have Fez plus Cloak plus Cloak. I can reset the deck with Artisan or Nest Ball right now. They could Rod back Budgie if they wanted to make some hero like Gust trap plays, but importantly, we haven't used the boss yet. There's Dreepy coming back. Fez draw next. Adrenabrain. They're going to move 3 to Zard. They do have Neo Upper to go onto their Blood Moon. This doesn't work. This loses on board. I'm at 24, and I can... I drew boss anyway, but yeah, I'm at 24, and I can do this. 25, 26. Bonk. Well, that was pretty good for us. Pretty good. They put down a lot of multi-prizes. Oftentimes they'd have one more bench space for extra cloakage. But just the density of threats that you have against other Dragapults is the main thing. It only really gets scary when the opponent is able to establish Genesect plus Tool. Like, that was a build playing Neo Upper, right? So, plus Jamming Towers. So they weren't playing the Genesect plus Tool build. Picking second because we have Cleffa and TM Evo. That is going to go for literally every matchup you face. And this hand is not the best, but we ride with it. This deck certainly can be theme decky at times. Is this the Azul build of Joltik Box, perhaps? Yeah, this can feel like a theme deck because we do play like 10 energy plus 2 stage 2s, so can be a bit bricky at times. Blood Moon's not the confirmation just yet, but if we start seeing some basics, we should know a little bit better what we're up against. Blood Moon being in play is good for us. It's a wasted slot. Might force the Latias down, which is weak to Dark. And just sort of wastes a ball search for them early. Ball Switch that could have been Mew or could have been Lati, or sorry, Fez. Yeah, the Crispin is sort of soft confirmation of what we're dealing with here, being Joltik Box. There it is, there's my Rhydon. So Azul's build is interesting because it plays double Gravity Mounted and no Clefairy, which should make it easier for our Pult to stick around. Because even if they have the stadiums, they have to find it against us. It does mean that Zard is more threatened, I suppose, but they still need weakness if they want to KO the Zard. Do they have a turn attachment they can drop on Joltik here or no? Let's see. They got rid of a Crispin, so the hand is like at least got a few supporters. Blood Moon definitely their worst lead though. Like it already fills their bench quite poorly. Yeah, there's a Metal onto Joltik. Braving up the hands. I suppose the idea is they need to move the Blood Moon anyway, so Lati has to be on this board either way. And just a pass to us. Okay. Finally, a bit of draw on the board. I can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in hand, down to 5 in hand, and Cleffa for 2, I suppose. Cleffa for 2 it is. I only get to... Oh, I priced 2 Charmander. That's really not good. Charizard is very good in this matchup. But they can't attack me anyway next turn, so it should be fine. They have to just charge up, right? So spending the boss isn't worth the +1 card. Let's just grasp for 2. And hey, a couple supporter cards. Not bad. See the gear into Arven from our opponents. That should be Nest Ball for Lati, I imagine. They want to be cheeky, they could prime, but that feels like a waste of their ace. Don't waste the ace. We do have to be concerned about Galvantula as well, but they've already attached a Metal, so for them to be able to Galvantula, they need a hand of Crispin Ultra Ball. Which doesn't sound like a lot, but it's quite... Like, this deck doesn't draw any freaking cards, so... Yeah, Defiance to the hand, why not? As you'd expect, it's Skyliner coming in. Tandem unit for Peak. Yep. Turn attachment anywhere. Should be one of the 2 lightning chaps. Probably the hands. If they have any. Yeah, no energy in the hand. I kind of predicted it because of the metal energy anyway. Like, if they had any other energy, it would have gone to the Joltik. Because it's so bad being a metal here. But I guess they go at least 3 to hands here. 3 and 1 perhaps, or just all 4 to the big handyman himself. Let's see. Yeah, 3 and 1. I think I want to start with the Recon. Do I? Or do I just go for the Poffin Evo now? Poffin Evo is good to take out, I think. It does reveal that I don't have Charmander, but I guess I need to do that anyway. Alternatively, I could just candy Zard. now and just get the energy flowing. And saves us getting boss KO'd with an amp. That's okay, and then I can recon after that. Just got to decide if I want an energy on each. No, I think I go here, here, here. And then we recon once. HQ is definitely good. We know they play Grav though. So I might want to still take CC here so I can Iono CC for his amp turn. But it's one of those things of like, will I see this card again? Am I happy punching Iron Hands for potentially 24? Or potentially for 200? I think I'm happy hitting it for 200 with my Pult, because they have no board space to do what they want to do. So I'm attaching Luminous to Dreepy and just TM Evoing up with my Cloak in the active, I think. I can also play the HQ now and just say that, lol, you have a terrible turn now. Because they have no draw. I think I don't mind this. We know they don't have energy in hand, so they have no guaranteed jolting charge. It means they can't easily just gust an amp. Or just amp generally. They need to spend Crispin just to amp. Let's see. Lightning goes to hand, Metal to peak. Stadium bounce? Or arm... Oh, they do have the bounce. It's pretty good. Okay. Well, finding a bump immediately is crazy good for me, actually. That's actually just insane. Let's grab a Dreep. Let's Drakloak. Arven is Stamp. So, say less. Let's stamp him down. The Zard Punch is fine here. We can always mop it up later. Alright, they have a 2-card hand, a 3-card hand, sorry. No guarantees, but they, okay, gear. Any Arven or boss is good for them to just amp down to 2. I would rather them have to Arven, so then they have less outs to prime, or they would have to boss stuff. Let's see, though. Definitely taking their time on a gear. For them, a boss is the best find, I'm pretty sure. Yep. Do they have energy to peak? No. Okay, well that's something. So now we have another chance to get Dragapult involved. And pressurize that Pika as much as possible. Cloaking first. We don't want either of these cards, really. Fezandipiti too risky to put into play at this point. It gives Pika a Gust win, which is terrible. So we're just going to throw both of these away. And Finn a Monkey. No, Finn a Cloak and then pull the Monkey out for free. Finn a Charmeleon, yeah. Let's pull Monkey out. Let's put him down low. No fire energy is so rough, but at least I found Countercatcher. So I can punch with Zard again. This does give him Gust for game if I don't take out the hands. Oh, it might be another one of these games where I just waste so much damage. Just because I've not been able to find fire energy. But Pikachu only beats me if I find Stadium. So I guess I just chase it. Give me energy here. And just take out the big guy. Because losing to Arven plus Prime plus Boss is just way too many outs. Let's see. Arton shouldn't really be grabbing them anything, but this is a free deck search for them. Maybe they play Genesect and they can just thin it? No. Here comes Arven. They can at least get an energy. They have Mountain in hand. So insane. They had no draw power. Oh my word. So disgusting. They drew no cards that game, bro. It's so sad. It's so sad. That was an excellent battle. Okay, opponent is choosing first, which is probably indicative of a Noctowl engine of some description. We have to mulligan the best possible hand in the world. Jeez, that's a shame. But at least we get to go second. So we'll be looking for these pieces in our next hand. And we do get basically the same hand back. I'll be able to Arven for Evo. And that's all you can ask for, really. And as expected, it is going to be some sort of Noctowl deck. Let's see if it's going to be Bolt, Flareon, or Terrabox. I think Terrabox is the worst matchup of the bunch. That's the whole reason why Watchtower is such a big addition from Destin Rivals. But generally, the fact that you can just shut down a lot of decks is good. See, the early Teal Mask, still not really telling us too much info. Before the fan call. If I had to guess, it would be more likely that it's a Raging Bolt if they're instantly going for the Teal Mask. But they could have just done it for the draw power. we just see double Hoot and a Noctowl, no Ditto shenanigans, so no access to Lati just yet, and they attach a Fighting, which pretty much, I mean, it doesn't confirm, but it makes it much more likely that it's a Raging Bolt, which is pretty good for us. We're able to go Poffin Evo, which is just the dream here. We have prized one Charmander, oh, sorry, one Charmeleon. Chi-Yu is actually epic in this deck. Really, really good card. So I think I'm going one Charmander, one Charmeleon. It's annoying that it's the 100 hit point Charmeleon that's in the prizes, because that is safe around a Baby Bolt, but they didn't attach to a Baby Bolt anyway, so it doesn't make a big difference in this case. I'm going to hold the Nest Ball in hand for potential Chi-Yu, which sounds really dumb, but Chi-Yu, like Countercatcher, KO this is pretty massive, actually. And it could potentially also be for Fez as well, if I would prefer. So I'm going to go for the TM Evo. Just grab Cloak and Charmeleon. It's not much, but it's honest work. Like, I'm expecting an Assault Landing KO back to us here. Maybe with a Judge as his best line of play. We'll see, though. They have Terror and Noctowl, so they can make all sorts happen. A Judge isn't the scariest thing, because we already have Cloak and Charmeleon, so it's really not much for us to get dangerous. We immediately do see the stadium, so Assault Landing is still likely the outcome here. And if they're going for Fan Rotom, it's probably either setting up for Sada or going for Hand Disruption here. It feels kind of risky for them to just Judge without any Ancient Mons in play or any energy in the bin. I feel like they want to have at least one of those like checkpoints hit before they Judge themselves. Or at least something like Mew or Fez. Mew's a bad card to really put down, I guess. But if they're taking one prize, it's the same as the Ogerpon. Double Nest Ball, so yeah, they're trying to set up for some Sada shenanigans, I would imagine. More Teals. Teal Mask, obviously a good attacker into Zard, so they just want to have lots of energy scattered. Which does make sense. We now have the Vessels, so they can... Oh, they didn't pitch an energy. I feel like pitching an energy is pretty good here. Maybe they still have Ultra Ball for second Owl. Here's Nest Ball. Maybe just a manual attachment to a Bolt is good. There it is, Raging Bolt EX. They already have Fighting in play, so I guess they should attach a Lightning. Ah, they have Sada in hand, so they're paying Retreat to activate Sada. Oh, they're going into a Hoot-Hoot. That's really weird. Oh, they have Prime. Okay. So they're taking a knockout with Teal here? Oh, they're going to Sada and Bellow. Okay. This is not a bad outcome for me. It means I can't do the Chi-Yu very easily, but I can Candy Zard. Maybe I still power up Chi-Yu, honestly. And we Iono playing towards finding Countercatcher. Or maybe I just go Fez and play towards the Countercatcher that way round. Yeah, probably Fez and dig for Countercatcher, honestly. I can Fez first and maybe I hit Boss also. Or Arven. Arven for Countercatcher is just good as well. Let's see. Luminous doesn't change much. I think it has to be Fezandipiti first. Dig towards Arven or the physical CC or the boss. Stamp is good too. Stamp is better than playing Iono, because then I can hit a supporter after the fact. Let's Candy Zard, get the energy out the deck first. Give ourselves better odds. We will pull all three out. And we'll draw 3. No dice there, but we can at least reload some Dreep. Do I want to put a Cleffa on this board as a free retreat pivot, maybe? No, because I have Charmeleon, and I can spend an attachment this turn on Dreepy anyway. So it's this, Luminous, and draw the 6. Hitting the Bolt for 21 is pretty terrible, but at least I can mop it up later with Dragapult anyway. Let's just burn Poffin, play Cleffa. I think getting rid of Fez is fine here. My hand's not great, though. My hand is not great. So maybe I keep Fez around for a turn, knowing that they're either going to Bolt or Ogerpon it. And then next turn I probably have to Zard and Ogerpon. And then my 4-prize turn is Dragapulting. But I'm not going to have enough damage to do the 4-prize swing. I do want to play the Artisan, though. And it's whether or not I get rid of this Fez. I feel like the Fez is too many easy prizes for him, and I just have to rely on the prize map being tough for him. And make him reach with this Bolt. Because, like, it would be annoying for him to have to Noctowl for Area 0 plus Lati just to move this fat guy. It would be better for me if he has to Raging Bolt again with Sada. Okay, we do see the Jewel Seeker, so they have had to commit. Now let's see. It shouldn't be too tough for them to get down to 3 prizes here. It's just, if they have to do it with a Bellow, it's pretty good for me. We do see the Area 0, so I'm glad I bounced. Because they had to Dual Seek to fix this situation. We're going to see the Vessel too, so they're going to try and do some teal action here. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of their grass now in the mix. Myriad being their best way to knock me out. Of course, it keeps the most amount of energy in play. So if they can work towards Lati, that's their priority. There's another draw. Yeah, there's Latias. Do they have the 6th grass energy to manually attach? Or do they have to go big Bolt here? Retrieval does get them access to the grass. It's actually doing us a favor. It moves the Bolt for me, and I want the Bolt out the way so I can Phantom Dive it later. The only issue is that they do still have their Jamming Tower. So I have to play around. Like, I have to hope that they don't do that exactly next turn when I own them to 3. Now they still get to Sada here as well. It's pretty good. I really don't want to see an extra Hoot Hoot come down. Any Hoot Hoot is really bad for me here. Oh, they're still bellowing. Yeah, that's a reasonable choice. It does still make me Gust, so. They're just losing a lot of energy in this exchange. It means if I actually do get to Gust, they are so down on attachments. Okay. Go Cleffa. Ultra Ball away, Pult, and Rescue Board just for... I think I just do it for a cloak. For now. I know I need to evolve this turn, so that's like something that has to happen. Plus I still have Night Stretcher in the deck for Zard. Or Fez if I really need it. Let's put them down to 3, which is important. That is not a good handful of cards, that's for sure. Got to think now about how important it is to rod back something like Fez or Zard, just to give myself this recon directive 2 outs. I could go Fez, Zard, Cloak. I have the Pult in hand. I definitely want energy back in deck as well. I think I just recon. Okay, we hit the Zard. But he goes to 1. I then go Pult Swing. Here. It's just so much wasted damage. It may not be easy for him to KO though, because there's so many grass in the bin, and he spent the retrieval already. It may not be easy, honestly. The Zard still might just be too big for him. This is where I'm going to put back these. Do I ever want Fez on this board? Probably not, honestly. I think I just put the energy in and pull them back out now. Let's do this. This does feel like so much wasted damage because we've just whiffed on Countercatcher back to back, but it's what we got to do. Iono is a good pickup for us. Ultra Ball coming in. They probably need to get Mew and Fez out, right? But they probably also need an Ancient Man down. They need a lot of ball search here. Let's see the flip. 5 of potentially 6 grass energy played. So they need like double Night Stretcher or Stretcher plus Vessel or their physical 6 grass. Some play only 5. Or they need to go, you know, Bolt, Sada, Ra, that sort of thing. PAL PAF for some Sadas. Vessel lets them teal dance. They want to teal towards Sada, that's interesting. And they got rid of Ultra Ball. That's a really unique hand. Yeah, see, they're out of grass, right? They took 1 grass, 1 lightning. So they only do this if they're holding Night Stretcher, maybe. They teal dance no matter what, because they need the access to cards, but otherwise they would go double grass there 100%. So they're playing the 6 grass as you'd expect. They do have Night Stretcher. Okay, so they have the specific response here. And we go Iono to 1, punch, set up EX for game. They have no Hoot in play, no Mew. So this should be pretty safe for us. We just have to dodge Boss from a 2-card hand. And for some reason they put Sada's back. Oh, Sada does work for them actually. If I don't replace Stadium, they can Sada Baby Bolt KO. Okay. Alright. Let's do this. This is fine. This is fine. Those decisions really didn't matter. Let's just recon. Countercatcher is one to put to the hand, I get to the, yeah, it's the same as Arven, right? These are the same card essentially for outs to win the game next turn. But let's Iono to 1. We do find Stadium, which is pretty good. I think that's the only other thing I could hope for. And I'm holding Countercatcher for game as well. Night Stretch is fine. So this denies the easy Baby Bolt win. So it's literally exactly the 2 bosses orders that can beat us. They need it with energy as well now. So from the 2-card hand to beat us, they need boss plus energy. That is pretty low odds. And we just go 1, 2, 3 to play around Bravery Charm. And then we just put 3 here. And we say we win next turn, as long as they don't have the exact 2-card combo that beats us, with 22 in deck and no draw. It's one of the reasons why the HQ is so good, actually. We've done pretty well from a spot where we just whiffed CC for so long. Let's see. They're in the tank right now. They have no gust. Oh, they had energy. So just one of the 2 pieces they needed. Which means we get the dub. Come here, Fez. You know the drill. Dive it up. Let's take 5, why not? Cool. That was squeaky, but the comeback was there, right? And we had really low odds to lose from that spot after some big whiffs and never using our A-Spec stamp, which is like for the aggressive matchups. So a good showing there. I do think of the Noctowl decks, that's your easiest one. I think you're, especially with the Chi-Yu, even though we didn't get to use it that game, Chi-Yu plus Countercatcher on Teal Masks specifically is like such a big play that puts them in this really weird spot that like taking it out is so bad for them so often. Of course, they're going to take 1 with Baby Bolt quite a lot. So taking 1 and then taking the Chi-Yu is not that bad, but you can reload Chi-Yu, which is terrifying for them. But I do think the Headquarters is like a big tech card right now. Again, it probably will be the Watchtower as soon as Destined Rivals comes out. That's how we've seen it see the most success, like this archetype. But I do think HQ still has its merits. Like it's better into the Joltik box, obviously, because this doesn't help against, or the Watchtower doesn't help against that matchup. But I still just really am convinced by this deck. I know I've had like a pretty mediocre tournament result with it, but every time I play the deck, it feels like it just has come back from all sorts of spots and represents so many threats that it's like more well-rounded more often, I think, than a straight Pult. Let me know your thoughts down below. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow for another one. Cheers.